Hey Peter, um, want to follow up with you on what I was talking about timing your entry, timing your exits too, but basically timing your entry on trades. Wanted to kind of let you know what it is that I do in my trading and why that question came up and why I couldn't find anything within all the training videos that are available through Raging Bull services, why I couldn't find anything on that. So anyhow, here's kind of how I trade the stocks, and let me show you my different monitors as to what I do and how I get the stock picked. And I will say that I use a different screener, and I try to pick stocks on my screener that you guys aren't picking because I don't want to run with the crowd on trading the stocks because of some of the issues that you're having and you're talking about as far as the mirror type activity. So anyway, let me show you a couple of things here. Have to unplug from the power source. Got way too many computers and monitors hooked up and not enough electricity. Not enough outlets to handle them all. Okay, so we're going to use the ATYU stock as a example on this. But, oh, before I forget it, here on the Ameren, AMRH. I love you guys to death, but I had picked this stock up about a week or so ago at 30 or 33 cents a share, and I was trying to add to it the other day, and I was waiting for my buy. I was so close to it. It was that close. And Peter, you started talking about it and running, and it just started running up from there. And it was like I couldn't get my buy in because you were talking about the fact that it's one of your potential picks, and it was like, oh my goodness, please stop. So no, I never did get that secondary buy-in, but I still sold it off and had two different accounts that I was trading it on, and sold it off for a profit on both of them. But I sure would like to have doubled down on my shares of Ameren, and I'm still waiting to get back in it. It's very frustrating that it's just sitting there. It's dud at this point in time. Need some CPR or something to get it moving again. But anyway, let's get to the AYTU. Looking at it, you know, if you want to draw lines, and of course the lines are all pretty discretionary as to what lines you want to make of any pattern here. But looking at it from the $1 mark and then going forward on up the trend line, it's pretty much most of the activity, most of the days, it's having a higher low. So fairly safe stock to invest on because of the higher low situation. It's got a 30% or 30 cent rather drop to the resistance line, which is a fair gap. But then as far as your potential goes, you know, your first resistance point could be the 250, but at 253 for that, you're real close to your 200-day moving average at 277, and then you're over at 480 after that. Now, I doubt it's going to 480, but there's a lot of potential there. So how I trade it is this. I don't buy it and hold it. I want to swing it every day, and here's the reason why. First of all, what I do is I go out and I pull up the price open, high, low, the volume. And I'm looking at that and I started at the 11th and put all these numbers in. Okay, so I'm doing that, and this is VectorVest, by the way. I started using them back in '98, and it's been on and off with them ever since. Um, it's a good tool, and it's not going to show. I'm in the way. Let me dismount this. Okay. So here's what I'm trying to show on this. If it'll focus in on it. Zoom in a bit. Okay. On this, if I was to buy and hold through the buy at the open here on the 11th, and then hold it through the close on today, which was a 203 close, it would have been a $6,300 deal for 10,000 shares. And I like to trade in multiples of 10,000 because it only takes a few cents to start accumulating some money. On the flip side, it only takes a few cents to start losing some serious cash too. But anyhow, on that, if I traded it daily and was to capture the high and the low, 100% of high and low, if I was to be perfect in my trading by monitoring the moving averages, then on that same stock, 10,000 shares, I would have made $21,000 instead of the 6,300, so 15,400 more. Now, I'm not perfect, so let's just say I'm only 50%. I'm only half, whoops, that's 500%. I'm only 50%, so I'm half right. Okay, even at half right, trading each day, just once a day on that stock, I make $10,850 instead of the 6,300, so I make $4,500 more on that stock than a buy and hold, a swing trade. Okay, so that's my thought behind my trading style is, yeah, I can do the buy and hold, only have one fee for opening and one fee for closing, but there's a lot more money to be had, and I'm better than 50% on that, so I'm not 100%, but I'm better than 50. So anyway, I can make extra money over the normal trading. Now, in addition to that, and what I was asking you about today, let me put this back on the tripod here. Okay, get back to this screen. And zoom out just a hair. Whoops, wrong way. I don't get along with technology. That's my phone. So anyhow, back to this and what I was asking today. I'm looking at AYTU. I've got your squeeze indicator here, and let me maximize this. Okay, and then let me, whoops, what do I need to do here? What am I doing wrong? Okay, I need to zoom out a bit. And I don't know how to do that perfectly on this stuff, so. Okay, so pre-market today, it hit a low of $1.80. So I'm waiting when the market opens. I don't buy it here as you guys do at the close of market the day before. A lot of times, and the reason is if you track it, which I come from a statistical background, numbers is my life. Most of the time I can get a better buy-in by going the next morning and waiting for the dip, and that usually happens in the first half hour. And today, that's what happened. Now, I did not buy it here. I bought it, I couldn't get it filled, but I did buy it at $1.80 here and sold it off as it rose up high. Now, if I can get in here, here's my thought process, is I like to buy it. I've noticed on this TM squeeze, and I've gone through your video, Peter, and don't quite understand everything to it. So I'm going to go through it again, and I've tried to get some online, and the help out there is kind of spotty. But when I look at this in the TM squeeze, I'm looking for, not waiting for it to go blue. I'm jumping the gun on it because the price and everything starts increasing before you get to the blue here. So I basically, when it goes from red to yellow, I start looking at it, and I look at the volume and see, is the volume increasing? And if the volume's increasing, then do we have the crossover of the 3 and the 8? And that's the 2 that I'm running here, and this is a 20. So do we have the crossover? And if we have the crossover, or the indication is like here, it's heading up and it's going to do the crossover, if in either of those situations, I'm willing to go ahead and buy in on the trade. So buy in on the trade, and then of course I'm following it up and want to get rid of it when we've gone less than the light blue. So either the blue, the dark blue, or even into the red, depends on how far up I am as to will I'm willing to hold on to it and risk some of the profits. But basically, to get out of it once it hits the crossover again, basically. And then again, have the opportunity to buy in again when it hits that cross. You've got